Hey guys, LootWizard here with another video on Chums of War. This is episode 29 of my new account playthrough, and we're going to be doing the Sword's Edge quest line, and we're going to unlock the class for it. I believe it's War Priest, but I'm not sure. We'll find out when we get there. We have a new banner unlocked, and it's 19 battles here to do this quest, and I think I might switch the team up and do something different here because we've been doing that one a lot. This team, I mean, I think we did pretty good with this one last time. We'll just go with this. It's not a gold team, but it's using Apothecary here and Mountain Crusher. So yeah, it's this is a pretty good team too. One of the great mana generators that you can level up early game, as well as it's useful all the way even into late game as Apothecary. It's a really great troop for generating mana like this and cleansing all of your troops, because it does have cleanse. And cleanse is really powerful for because there's a lot of negative status effects in the game, and you know, so if you get root trap, you get entangled, you get webbed, any of that kind of stuff, in Apothecary, once you cast it, it will cleanse all of your troops. So it's a really good card for doing that, as well as generating that brown mana. It's a really good troop as well that goes with Mountain Crusher, which is what I'm using now. Well, Mountain Crusher is one of the best mana generators in the game too. Like, as far as weapons go, I would, as soon as you unlock, I would start leveling up the Brown Mastery. Brown, red, and blue, because that's where you're going to get some of your really good weapons. So you're going to get Mountain Crusher from just leveling up Brown. Then you're going to get Bronze Lock Pistol from leveling up Brown and Blue together. And then you're going to get Mang from leveling up Red and Brown. But those like 3 weapons you definitely want to focus on. Once you get them, I would say try to level up Mountain Crusher as soon as possible. You know, if you're lucky enough to get Cedric in the vault with your vault keys, then I would say focus on the Bronze Lock Pistol until you can unlock the Skeleton Key. But even after you unlock the Skeleton Key, the Bronze Lock Pistol will still be really useful. So I would do that. Those are some really good early game weapons, and they're going to last for you all throughout the game. As high as you can level up, Mountain Crusher is still going to be really useful. Mang is still going to be useful, and the Bronze Lock Pistol are all going to be really great weapons that you can use all throughout the game. Yeah, so if you're just starting out in the game, just to give you some direction, you do want to try and complete your quest lines as soon as possible, because you will be able to unlock your Soul Forge, your Underworld, and by completing your quest lines, you'll unlock new banners that you can use for your team combinations, and the banners are important for your teams. For example, if you're running something like this with a Mountain Crusher and your goal is to get brown mana, then you're going to want a banner that has double brown and maybe another color. So I'm using a lot of like blue for Apothecary as well as for Behemoth. So those, like if I had a banner that was giving me double brown and one blue, that would like really make my team get powered up quicker. So that's another reason why you want to do your quest lines, because when you unlock all those kingdoms, you're going to get more banners that you can use. And same thing in the underworld. Like all of the factions down there are going to give you even more banners that you can use. So that's very important. And the other reason too you want to unlock your quest line kingdoms is because the higher, well, once you unlock them, you will be able to power up your kingdoms more, level them up with upgrading the troops that are associated with that kingdom with souls. And the more you do that, the more power your kingdoms are going to have, and it's going to increase the stats on all of your troops because you're doing that. So that's another major reason you want to do that, because as a new player, if you just jump right into like PvP right away, of course you still want to try to do some PvP while you're doing your quest lines, but if that's all you're doing is just PvP, because that's where most of the gold is, then you know you're gonna come to a point where you're just gonna get frustrated with the game because your stats aren't increasing a whole lot, and you know that's just gonna be really frustrating. So you do want to go through this whole process of unlocking all of your kingdoms. And the other thing, there's probably multiple things that I'm forgetting, but one of the other main things, reasons why you want to do your quest lines is because there are hero classes that are locked behind these kingdoms. And there are some, like in the last episode, we unlocked the Sunspear class, and that is, in my opinion, like within the top 10 classes of the game. So that's without doing all the quest lines, you're not going to be able to unlock classes like that, and then you know, you're not going to be as powerful in the game. So those are just a few simple reasons why you want to do your quest lines as a new player. And so do just enough PvP to get yourself enough gold to unlock your kingdoms and level them up. And you know, then I would say focus on your kingdoms. Sorry, I went silent there for a minute. I'm just trying to play and think about things to talk about at the same time. So yeah, I would, as a new player, I would focus on those things. And as always, like in the previous videos, I've mentioned a lot now of the other things that you need to take care of as a new player. You want to spend your first like 1,000 gems that you get on your dragon armor and your celestial armor, because that's going to increase the amount of gold and souls that you can get from your battles. And that is a lot. It's 100% bonus to either souls or to gold, and that's going to make a big difference. So when you go into PvP, and if it says, oh, you're going to get 600 gold for beating this team, if you have that dragon armor equipped, you're going to get 100% to that. So it would be, you're going to get 1200 instead of 600. So that basically means that you have to do a lot less battles for the same amount of gold that you used to do before you had that armor. So that's a big deal. It is. So you need to save up for those two, like, as soon as possible. Wow. 4 griffins, huh? It's kind of weird, but... It's always nice, too, when Mountain Crusher gives you an extra turn. It's one of the good things about having that Dust Storm. And you're not going to get that Dust Storm every time you cast Mountain Crusher unless you use Legendary Ingots. Legendary Ingots you can get from challenges on the Kingdoms, which is another good reason to do your Kingdoms. So that you can get those Ingots from that. Then once you unlock the Underworld, you can get Legendary Ingots down there pretty consistently. So those are all things to think about. Oh, that was nice. Nice 4 match of skulls just right there. Boom. Okay, Banshee. We'll do that, and then we'll do this. That should take care of it. So yeah, I think you know, one of the good ways to not get burned out on Gems of War is just, you know, play the game. If you like it, keep playing it. If, you know, it starts to feel like a chore, like a job, you know, put it down for a while. Play something else, or do something else, you know. I mean, that goes for every game, but, you know, games like this, like Gems of War, are pretty much designed to put you in this, like, infinite grind, where you're constantly having to grind for something. Resources, so that you can... you know, you got to farm for a resource to convert it into another resource, to convert that resource into another resource, so that you can finally purchase something that you want. Like, these kinds of games are a little crazy with the grinding for resources. Like, I personally have not counted how many resources are in this game, but there's a lot. If you start counting them all up, it's like, geez. I bet there's at least a dozen resources in Gems of War. You know, like I said, I haven't counted them before. But you have gold, you have souls, you have glory, you have gems, you have diamonds, you have shards, you have trait stones, you have orbs, you You have scrolls, you have ingots, you have keys. Yeah, there's over a dozen types of resources in this game. So, you know, like imagine if instead of just one type of currency, you had to work. What if the paycheck that you got from work was like in 20 different currencies? It'd be a little bit annoying, but you know that's the life of you know, grinding games. Like some games I think are designed a little better to like hide the grind and give you that sense of progression, like you're actually working towards something. And there's clever ways to do that, like if the resources can be used for other things. Like I think one of the games that does this pretty good is Path of Exile. It's a game that's like Diablo, ARPG. And there's resources in there. It's definitely a grind heavy game. It's also a free to play game. It's not a mobile game though. It came out on PC first, and then it has gone to console now. It does have some you know, crazy prices on some cosmetic things in there, but the thing I like about their resources is that those resources have like a double purpose. So, like, you can purchase things with, let's say, there's Chaos Orbs or, like, the big, you know, top currency in there. But, I forget what it is, a Regal Orb, or no, it's a Regret Orb, I believe. And that actually allows you to take back points that you put into your passive skill tree. But you can also use those orbs as, like, a currency to purchase an item, and when you're trading with other people. So that's a clever way to kind of hide the fact that you have to grind for so many different types of resources. And Gems of War is like, it's passable with it, but I feel like there's probably something else they could do to you know, be a little more clever with the resources that we have to grind for constantly. Because you have to grind for souls, for glory, for gold, for gems, for diamonds, for trait stones, for... I mean, it's just like, there's so many different resources you gotta grind for. I remember almost going Looney Tunes when I was grinding out souls for my Dawnbringer. Because that's all I was doing for like a month straight, was like daily. I would just, maybe it was even longer than a month, but I just remember like that's all the types of battles I was doing. I was like, I'm going to get that Dawnbringer. I'm going to get it. And I got, I was even farming for it before I got Ferrous Rod. And then I got Ferrous Rod and it made it a little quicker, but it was still torture. It was still... and now I got so many souls I don't know what to do with them. So I probably could have just played the game normally and I would have got Dawnbringer eventually anyway and not drove myself batty. Hey, we leveled up 197. We're getting close to level 200. Oh, I got some kind of weapon there and I didn't even see it, unfortunately. And I leveled up at the same time that we just got done with the final battle here. So this is the troop that we get for completing this quest line. It's not great, so hard pass. And so what I was talking about, like with the levels, now that we've unlocked this kingdom, I can do explore battles, which that's going to be give you an opportunity to get arcane trait stones from these mythic bosses, as well as metals. And that's the other like resource that we gotta farm for in this game, is metals. And yes, they are a resource because you can use them to power up the stats on your troops if you don't want to equip them to get an extra stat boost. So that's another resource. But Right here, the level of your kingdom is going to increase some of your stats. It'll give you a few free troops, but that'll increase some of your stats. That's the level. Now, the power of your kingdom isn't going to increase really too much of your stats. It will a little bit, because see here, it'll be 1 plus the kingdom skill bonus, 2 plus the kingdom skill bonus. So that'll increase your stats a little bit. But the main reason you want to do your power levels up as high as possible is because it's going to increase your tribute reward and your chance of getting tributes. And that's where a lot of your resources are going to come from, is collecting those tributes. Now, I was wrong. It's not the War Priest. It's actually the Knight that is the class for this kingdom. So let's go do this. These 4 battles, unlock it, and we can take a look at it real quick. Knight class, I rarely ever use it. I don't think it's that great. It's probably in a much lower tier of classes for sure. So there really won't be too much to look at, but we'll still take a quick look at the class once we unlock it. Boom. And we'll do that. Yeah, and this orc guy down there at the bottom, he can spawn more orcs, so I'm going to try to eliminate him before he starts spawning a bunch of orcs. There we go. Alright, first battle down, 3 to go. 3 to go. Goblin Rocket's pretty good early team troop. Alright, let's go for Apothecary because we don't have much brown on the board. Well, now we do have brown on the board, but yeah. There we go. And, well, we can still use Apothecary. We're going to use it on that purple. Get ourselves a nice extra turn. We'll do that. And then we'll do Behemoth. And we'll do Behemoth again since we got so lucky to get it full and an extra turn. And then we'll just do this, I guess. And then we can do Behemoth. Like, Behemoth at this point is starting to lose a little bit of its power. Like, earlier on when I first got it, it was like, yeah, you know, it's doing some pretty good damage. And now it's like tickling the enemy. Ah, boo. I don't need 100 souls. That was a pretty weak gnome reward. The worst gnome reward or the vault reward ever is those 2 minor trait stones. That is just plain like a slap in the face. Like, you know how easy it is to get 2 minor trait stones? By basically playing any battle on the lowest difficulty. So the fact that that's even like a gnome reward or a vault reward is just insane to me. I don't know why. I have no idea why they chose to go that path, but you know, when I go to the vault, I like expect to I mean, I'd rather get like 10,000 gold than stupid 2 minor trait stones. So, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, you know, the game developers for this game, sometimes I wonder what they're thinking. I mean, I know they're thinking about this game from a total business standpoint, but, you know, if you're going to go fishing, you better use some pretty good bait. You know, it better be some pretty good, tasty looking bait. And sometimes I wonder, like, if they are thinking about that. Like, dude, you gotta make some of the rewards in the game like really feel like worth it. You know, like when you go to the vault and it's like it's the vault. Why am I getting 2 minor trait stones? Anyway, that, like, don't even get me started on treasure maps. Like, cause I went off on that other video that I did, other episode, and think you guys got the point. I don't like treasure maps. But treasure maps are fine early game the way that they are, but I just feel like they scale horribly. Like, nobody, unless you just like to do them for the sake of doing them, which is kind of odd. Right there we got 2 minor traits done, so I was just talking about that too. But unless you're just doing treasure maps to do them, like later on in the game, it is like you don't get hardly any rewards for it. You don't get any class XP, and that's like one of the main reasons why a lot of people just like to do even explore, because at least they're getting class XP. The Knight class. Okay, so Knight class belongs to Sword's Edge, which is the kingdom we just completed. The weapon for it is Serve and Protect. You can gain armor and pull yourself to the front position. All other allies gain barrier. It's a weird weapon. I never really use it because I think you're better off using something like the Shield of Urskaya. But let's take a look at traits. Traits, you're just getting 3 attack when an ally dies. You gain 2 armor every turn. So your hero is going to gain 2 armor every turn once you unlock this. Which early game, that might make a difference. But once you get to like mid game, late game, 2 extra armor every turn is going to be nothing. 10 armor for first position. Vanguard, start battle. Okay, so it does have Guardian Tree in here. So you got... Vanguard is good. Razor Armor is good. Banishment is excellent. It's probably the best talent in here is Banishment. But yeah, there's a few good talents in there. But there's other classes that are better than this that have the same talents. So, Knight class, not super fantastic. There's better alternatives. So, there you go, guys. That's my opinion on that. And, this was episode 29, Sword's Edge Questline, and thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next episode. Later.